Welcome back, y'all. It's been another slow week for Gears 5. I assume they're mostly focusing on the release of Gears Tactics, which is going to be coming out in about 2 weeks from now. So if you're wondering why I didn't post a video earlier in the week like I normally do, updating you on anything going on in Gears, well, that's why, because there just wasn't enough, in my opinion, to make a video about it. They didn't even post an update on the Gears 5 website like they usually do. Usually on Tuesdays they'll put up, it's usually Tuesdays or Mondays, but they'll usually put up like a patch notes, like a very small patch notes, but they didn't even do that this week. But if you are curious as to what is new this week to Gears 5, then I'll put a screenshot of what they tweeted out. Even they knew it wasn't a lot to put up a post on the website, so instead they tweeted this out. There you go, just a couple skins added to the store. As I said, nothing special, so that's why I didn't make a video on it. So if it's been a very slow week for Gears 5, then what are we going to be talking about today? Well, today I wanted to talk about maps and the frequency of them coming out. It's not something new, it's something that they have mentioned in the past before, but I think a lot of people might have missed this because most of it has been coming from Octus TC's Twitter, and if you don't follow him, he is the senior community manager at the coalition, so he's usually the person replying to a lot of people's tweets and trying to help them out with any issues they are having, and will sometimes drop like some, not necessarily leaks, but some info as to what's to come to the next Gears updates. For the last couple of days, there's actually been a little bit of talk about the frequency of maps, and as I said, it's nothing new because they did talk about it during the release of Operation 3, but I think a lot of people overlooked it, seeing as their section in the title update patch notes was actually really short. I think it was like half a paragraph or something like that. But I've been reading through his Twitter quite a bit the last couple of days, and this is basically what they have to say about the maps and the lack of them, being released the last couple of months, because usually we get one new map per operation, and then maybe we'll get a remastered. So technically we'd be getting like 4 versus maps if we're lucky, but 2 of them aren't really new. But they are changing the way they are approaching versus maps. Somebody was asking about PvE content as far as Horde and Escape, and this was the response that TC Octus gave them. Our PvE team are looking at the next steps, not sure they are at a point to discuss as yet. We just delivered a huge balance pass. New tiles are on hold at the moment, we're prioritizing more standard maps more often. And then he finishes off by saying new cards are coming though. And tiles are on hold is the big thing to take a note of here, because tiles, he's talking about the escape tiles. If for those of y'all that don't really play escape a lot, you can make your own escape maps, and you don't have like full creation, or full ability to create whatever you want, but you have like a few tiles to work with and basically put them together like a puzzle to make your own route. So it's not the most advanced thing ever, but apparently it's pretty fun to do. I've never used it, but they have tons of tiles, and according to him, they're going to be putting a little bit of a hold on that and focus on making more multiplayer maps instead. And this was also another tweet by TC Octus not too long ago. Also him replying to somebody criticizing the fact that Gears 5 has a very small multiplayer map count. So this is what the coalition, or TC Octus, had to say about that. It's been 6 months and a bit since launch. Tiles were draining mainline versus map resources. They take a lot of work. We've now dropped PvE tile development to focus 100% on increasing our versus count. Impact of changes like that take time, unfortunately. So again, more confirmation that they are slowing down the tile production for Gears 5. And to them, I think the reason why they were putting so much time into working on tiles is because they figured that they could implement them into other aspects of Gears 5. So for example, free-for-all maps, even though they're technically new maps, the 3 free-for-all maps that we got back in Operation 2 were technically just tiles from Escape put together to make a free-for-all mob. So that's why it feels different than the rest of the multiplayer maps, because it's made from assets of a different, part of Gears 5. And then I believe with the launch of Operation 3, we also got a new 2v2 map that is made just from Escape tiles. So they figured that if they made a whole bunch of Escape tiles they would be able to incorporate that into, I would imagine, making horde maps, multiplayer maps, free-for-all maps, stuff like that. But the community has not been too happy about that, and he also made a point of letting people know about that. By this time in Gears of War 4's life cycle, we had already been given 12 new maps because remember, they were introducing 2 maps every month, unlike right now where we're getting maybe 2 maps every 3 months. So by this time, Gears of War 4 already had more than double of the maps we have in Gears 5 at the moment. So yeah, I'm definitely glad that they are, moving more power over to working on versus maps exclusively. Seeing as they're going to be moving more of the development team to be working on versus maps, I want to know your thoughts. Would you have been okay with them keep working on tiles and then find a way to incorporate those tiles and make those into versus maps, similar to how they made them into free-for-all maps and 2v2 Nasher maps? Or do you want them to, just completely get rid of tiles, or not completely get rid of them, but at least as far as versus goes, and have them make new original maps? And when we're talking about new original maps, I want to know, do you want them to remaster old maps from previous Gears games that we know work and we know are good? Or do you want them to focus on making new original maps like Pahanu and All Fathers Arena? I know those 2 maps aren't the most fan favorites, but I think they were okay. But would you like of them to do more of that stuff, or just, remaster old maps like they did with Canals? And one more thing that I would actually think would be really interesting if they incorporated into the game, although I don't think it's ever going to make it into the game, but if they could find a way to make the map editor for Escape, if they find a way to make it work for versus maps and let people make their own versus maps, that would be, in my opinion, amazing. I would definitely take a map editor for versus if that means that they have to delay some of the versus maps that they're currently working on a little bit more. Just the thought. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but it'd be nice to have. But there you go. That's everything I have for y'all today. As I said, fairly slow week for Gears 5. Everybody's probably prepping for the release of Gears Tactics in about a week and a half. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below and what your thoughts are on, the whole map situation at the moment. Are you happy with the maps we currently have? Or I know everybody wants new maps, but are you willing to wait an extra 3 months for each one? I think I know the answer to that one. But yeah, let me know all that in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It really helps me out a lot. And as always, hope you have a good one, and catch y'all next time.